While the Suns were punching their ticket to the finals against the Clippers just across the street at the LA Convention Center, LeBron was making his own headlines. Twitter was buzzing after Damian Lillard and LeBron were both spotted Wednesday night at the LA Sparks vs. Las Vegas Aces WNBA game. Social media was quick to jump on the interaction, questioning if the two superstars might be teaming up. Chris Broussard still with us, but earlier this morning, Skip, you had a little problem with LeBron attending this game while Chris Paul was playing the Clippers at Staples. So I'm going to give you an opportunity here. Explain yourself.
I don't even have a problem with it. It's just vintage, classic LeBron James. Earlier, Shannon said it was just a mere coincidence that he wound up at the WNBA game being played at the LA Convention Center at the same time Game 6 was going on in LeBron's house at Staples Center.
Right.
It was classic childish LeBron saying, I can't stand it that the NBA world is riveted on a game in my house, in my town, in Hollywood, featuring the Clippers and also featuring LeBron's, one of his closest friends. It might even be his best friend, for all I know, Chris Paul III. And Chris Paul was on the brink of finally making it to his first NBA Finals in his 16-year career. And I don't have any problem if LeBron chose to say, I don't want to upstage Chris in what could be his greatest moment, so I'll just watch this game from home or wherever else he wants to watch it from. But to choose to go to a WNBA game at the same time, and I got no problem if LeBron wants to go to every WNBA game the whole year. No problem with that. Way to go, LeBron. But he doesn't go to every WNBA game, and he chose to go to this one. This one is going on simultaneously with Game 6. And it was classic LeBron flexing his fame, saying, remember me? I know that guy over on Undisputed. He calls me LeBron James, but I'm here. And I'm going to upstage Game 6 because the internet will be on fire. And furthermore, and I don't know this for a fact, I'm going to bring my guy Dame to the game. And I don't know why Dame was there. He just comes out of the blue. Mostly he stays up in Portland.
No, he doesn't. He's all over the place.
Okay,
He's Oaktown, all that.
He is from Oaktown, but I don't know that he spends a whole lot of time in Los Angeles. I could be wrong about that. And why would he suddenly show up at the same game on the same night, opposite Game 6 at Staples, that LeBron was showing up at? And why would the two of them make a big show of embracing? Because they know what was going to happen. The internet was going to go berserk with, uh-oh, there it is. Damian's going to the Lakers.
So let me ask you a question. What if they show up at a Dodgers game? Would you have been okay with them going to a Dodgers game?
It would have been the same principle.
Exactly. So in other words, Chris, you see what he's doing, Chris? He wants LeBron James, after coming out of a pandemic, not being able to go anywhere, he wants this man to stay at home and watch Chris Paul.
It's his best friend.
The sporting world did not stop. That's not the only sporting event that was going on that night.
Is LeBron not a big NBA fan? Isn't he a fan of Chris Paul's?
But
wouldn't he want to know what was happening in Game 6?
How many of those guys actually go to the games of their best friends? It doesn't happen.
Okay, but how many times does your best friend wind up in his 16th year playing for a potential NBA Finals berth in your building, in your town?
Yeah.
It's like, here, thank you very much, I'll go to that.
Yeah.
And if LeBron had gone, I'd have no problem with that. I wouldn't love him wearing a Suns jersey in the front row of Staples on
You'd have had a problem if he go, Chris, can LeBron James go to a game, any game, and not get caught on camera? If he goes and he's sitting
that's correct.
If he goes and sits in the suite, why would LeBron James go to a Chris Paul game and upstage Chris Paul in his finest hour?
He wouldn't be upstaging, he'd be supporting him.
Okay, he goes and he sits on the front row. LeBron James, he has to sit on the front row?
Well, where was Lil Wayne? He was in the front row, and he went to every game because he's supporting his brother, Chris Paul.
Well, LeBron went to the WNBA because he's supporting his sisters.
Who's closer, Lil Wayne or LeBron to Chris Paul? It's probably real close between those two.
That man went to where he wanted to go, and you're making a big deal of nothing. Now, there's still a chance he might, Dame might end up on the Lakers.
Okay, well, there you go. See, you're playing right into it.
No.
Chris.
Look, this is much ado about
No, it's
nothing.
not.
All right, first,
let's defend LeBron some more.
about LeBron wanting to you know, upstage Chris Paul and be at the game. Look, LeBron lives in L.A. Dwayne Wade was there. He don't live. Does he live in L.A.?
Yes, he does.
I don't know.
He does.
You know,
he does.
He does. Okay, so he was there. Dame doesn't live in L.A. So you could argue Dame's the one that's a rival with Chris Paul, right? I mean, they're both point guards. So why can't we argue Dame was trying to go and he knew LeBron would be there and he wanted to upstage Chris Paul? That's his rival. That's a point guard that might win a championship in 9. Like, I mean, I just don't think that's LeBron's thinking at all.
I don't either.
I think he wanted to go to the WNBA game. He does have a daughter, little Zuri, right?
Yep.
Like, maybe he's he's a girl dad like Kobe.
Maybe.
He wants to see the WNBA. And this is the other thing, Skip. You know how competitive these guys are. Yes, LeBron and Chris Paul are buddies, but they're competitors. And you often hear players say, once we got eliminated, I wasn't watching the games.
Okay.
I couldn't watch any more games. Oh, sure, that's my best friend, but I don't care. He's a competitor.
LeBron's watching every night. He's tweeting every night off every game.
Yeah.
I mean, when Giannis went down, he's the first to tweet.
But now they're to the point where they're going to get to the finals. They're going to get to the finals. When Isaiah Thomas and Magic Johnson, we know how close they were. When their relationship began to deteriorate, it was when Isaiah started getting to the finals.
Yep.
Right. And now it's like, oh, he's a threat now. When he was just a great little individual player in Detroit or making all-star teams, it was all good.
Okay.
But once he started trying to take what Magic had,
Chris.
then it was like there's a little tension.
No, you're missing the point. He's not trying to upstage Chris Paul. I was just saying the irony is he could have been there to support Chris Paul. What he's trying to do is upstage the Clippers. The team in the basement. They're on the brink of getting to an NBA Finals, and he can't stand it. And he's saying, watch this. Watch what I can do right up the street, a stone's throw away from Staples. I will have the internet buzzing about me and Damian during a Game 6 at Staples, my house, featuring the team in the basement. Trust me, that's what he was doing.
Chris, why would we worry about y'all? Y'all got no banners.
Stop it.
Hey, Jim, you got that? You got that thing that they put up that the Clippers going to hang up for next year?
Yeah,
look at it.
Funny.
Chris, look what they're hanging up.
That's funny.
That's what they're hanging up next year in Staples.
Yep.
That's what y'all hanging up. Now, we hang up 17 of the things, real things.
You know, I've been asking you whatever happened to LeBron James, and he finally showed me. He showed up at the WNBA. Oh, there he is. Oh, wow.
Where's Playoff P? Where's Playoff P? Where's Mr. June?
He played a month longer than LeBron did.
Skip. Chris, what's the benefit of you going to college for 2 years and not graduating, as opposed to not going at all? You didn't accomplish nothing. The goal is not, the respect is not go for, oh, he went to college. Did he graduate? When people ask me, Shannon, you went to school, where'd you go to school? I graduated from Savannah State. The graduation, it's the winning of the championship. You practiced 2 weeks longer. 3 weeks longer than we did. That's all you did, Skip.
And if Kawhi Leonard doesn't go down, they're in the finals.
What about if LeBron and
If
AD?
the referees don't steal Game 2 from them, they're in the finals.
With that logic, what if AD and LeBron are healthy?
Yes.
I mean, if everybody's healthy in the West, I'm taking the Lakers. We'd see, but the Lakers would have as good a chance as the Clippers.
Yeah.
So I can't just say if Kawhi was healthy. I also think this about Dame. Like, I wouldn't make too much out of that interaction. I mean, obviously, they're at the same game. They're going to say hello. They like each other.
And they got respect for each other.
But Dame, the Lakers, it would be almost impossible for them to get Damian Lillard.
Okay, so time out.
I mean, they don't have the assets.
Do we suspect that it was sheer coincidence that LeBron and Damian just wound up at the same WNBA game being played opposite Game 6 at Staples?
Yeah.
Is it just sheer coincidence?
Sure.
They just suddenly showed up for no apparent reason at the women's game.
The reason was to cheer on the ladies of the WNBA.
But why would both of them show up at that game at that moment when Damian doesn't even live in L.A.?
How you know that man live?
Okay, well, well, he lives in Portland.
You work for Zillow?
No, I just know he doesn't live in Los Angeles.
How you know?
Well,
when you got that kind of bread, you got houses all over.
Okay, but why would he suddenly show up? You don't think that LeBron didn't text him and set up, let's both go to the game? Yes, he did. You know it, and I know it.
Why didn't they sit together? Why didn't they sit together? And maybe they did hook up after the game, but unless we know they went out to dinner afterwards or the next morning went to brunch, whatever, unless we know that they hung out, then this was a coincidence.
Coincidence.
I mean, Dame is not the type either. If LeBron just summons him to L.A., hey, Dame, I'm going to be at this game. Why don't you... Dame is not going to just jump when
Dame,
LeBron
he ain't wild like that, Skip. He ain't like that.
I don't know.
I know.
And furthermore, I don't think Dame is fully into this. Look, he obviously wants to go somewhere and win, but I don't think he's fully bought into the super team thing either.
I would agree with that.
I think something like New York would interest him, where he could go there, and then they have money to bring in another star or stars, to play with.
And obviously, it is. Yeah, look, it's just high in the sky that the Lakers could figure a way to acquire Damian Lillard. His Supermax doesn't start until this coming season.
That's okay.
Okay, so how are you going to do that? You're going to give up what to get him out of Portland?
Don't worry about it. We were $5.5 billion.
Well, I'm worried about it because I can't figure it out.
You're not supposed to. That's Rob Pelinka's job to figure it out. Your job is to figure out a way to beat me, but you haven't figured that out yet.
Well, we beat you during the regular season.
No, you didn't. Hold on. Where are the Clippers? They're Igor. They're still Igor. And where do you keep Igor at, Chris? In the basement. We still won't let him up out the basement. Y'all tried to sneak up out of the basement when we were away. But guess what? We came home just in time.
Why were you away?
And kick you right back. Get your butt down in that basement. Igor.
Okay. How are you going to get Damian out of Portland? You're going to give your next 10 first-round draft picks for the next 10 years? Is that how you do it?
You see how you get nervous?
We'll give you Kuzma for Damian, straight up.
Hey, Chris, you see how you get nervous? You see the tone in his voice?